So, welcome to the bottom rung, a Hearthstone podcast. I am Subtly Scream, the man with the best dressed drink in the business. My boy Dieter on the line with me. This is our first ever Hearthstone podcast, so give us a break. And how's it
Greetings.
going, buddy? Greetings and well met, my friend. Um, so, this. Oh, oh, oh! I'm getting hit
Nice of
with an
Frozen
ad.
Throne.
I'm hitting with an ad. Yeah, Knights of the Frozen Throne, absolutely. Um, so we're looking at the new expansion of Hearthstone, which of course has everyone excited, including myself, because honestly, I started World of Warcraft right as actually I started Warcraft 3 right as the Frozen Throne expansion of Warcraft 3 came out. So I was super excited about that, and I actually didn't even want to play World of Warcraft because of how much Warcraft 3 was good. I mean, I'm really crazy excited about the storyline, crazy excited about everything that was going on in it. I was immersed probably 5 years easy into the world of Warcraft 3 that then suddenly went to World of Warcraft, and now I'm in Hearthstone. So, I mean, I'm just really excited about this expansion. It's been honestly, in my opinion, it's been my most excited expansion of all of the Hearthstone expansions because, I mean, Blackrock Mountain was fun, GVG was fun, and everything else. But I mean, this
Well,
one to me
TGT
really.
was not fun.
I mean, GVG was fun because there's Doctor Boom and
Well,
things
no,
going
the
on.
Grand Tournament was what I was saying. The Grand Tournament was not fun.
Oh yeah, the grand tournament was absolutely awful. You know what? And we talked about it back then, and I was super excited for it. And you kept telling me how I was wrong, and I was like, no, 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 it's gonna be great. And well, I was wrong. You know, I was completely wrong about that one. So what we've prepared for this podcast here is a list of our three favorite cards. I've also thrown together my favorite deck that I've played so far. I'm a free-to-play player. Have been free to play since uh, beta. Really, I played pre GVG. I played pre Noxramas. I was playing for about a year and a half before Noxramas came out. Um, I was doing tournaments pretty heavy before the grand tournament, and then I've been terrible ever since. Which is why we call our podcast the Bottom Rung because I'm terrible. So
Well,
I'm gonna.
I started Hearthstone right before Blackrock Mountain came out. Um, I remember being such a noob and thinking, oh, I can just, buy one wing of the expansion and see how it goes. And then after that, that was it pretty much for me. I started playing the game, learning a lot about it, and yeah, it's been great ever since. We
Yeah,
actually met playing Hearthstone, me and Peter here. He beat me, probably the only time he's beaten me. No, I'm just kidding.
it's totally not true. It's totally not true.
Yeah. No, so ever since then, yeah, it's just been. I mean, I've always been a big fan of Blizzard games. StarCraft, Warcraft, Diablo. All their franchises are really good. Played played World of Warcraft in college. Actually stopped before the first expansion came out, which was, you know, at the time a good idea. Kind of wish I would have stuck around, but I was starting pharmacy school, so I didn't really think I should be devoting that much time to a game at the same time as school, which is probably a good idea. But anyway, here we are.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, man. I started playing World of Warcraft, and I have a completely failed relationship to the credit to that. Excuse me for 1 second. Huh? Sorry, my son came down with pajama problems. Um, anyway, so what we wanted to do is highlight our three favorite cards from the current expansion. So I'm going to bring up Dieter's three favorite cards here. So it's Anduin's Death Knight, Eternal Servitude, and Jaina's Death Knight, actually, which I was kind of surprised about. I mean, I know you're more of a priest player. You always have been. So I was kind of surprised to see that Jaina was in your list of favorite
Yeah.
cards. So you
So
want to talk about it?
obviously, priest being my favorite class, I've been playing the most with a lot of the priest cards, and I watch a lot of Kibler and Zeta a lot on Twitch and YouTube. Those guys are just amazing priest players. Um, so yeah, just the machine gun Anduin as they call them. I'm not sure if you've seen Kibler calling them that on YouTube or not, but just that ability to refresh the hero power and just keep pinging it two by two by two with Raza and in the Kazakus deck. It's crazy. The battle card is really nice as well. A lot of times you kill two or three guys. Even killing one guy is enough to get you out of a spot sometimes. So that's been my favorite card of the expansion so far. Only been out 3 days, so it's kind of early, but yeah, so far it's my favorite. Eternal Servitude is a really awesome card, especially in those priest lists. You can bring back your obsidian statue. You can bring back really anything that whatever the situation calls for to discover, and just bringing back that the Lich King, paying 4 mana for a second Lich King, obsidian statue, just awesome value. And then really the only other deck that I've played a few games of is the Frost Lich Jaina, and it's another control style deck. I'm a big control guy, uh, so just being able to grind out pings with that, summon more water elementals, getting all that life steal, and actually it makes a lot of the older elementals more fun to play. So like Pyros getting a 10/10 life steal is pretty sweet. Um, Playing that new dragon, the Syndragosa, and being able to ping your O1 legendary generator and make a water elemental, that's pretty fun. So that's why I picked that for my third favorite card. There are a lot of other really cool cards in this set, but I can test them out. So far, these are my three favorite cards.
Yeah, I mean, in the games that I've played, I don't have any of these cards, to be honest with you. I haven't played any priest or mage since the rollover. Um, but in the games that I played against, I think I've played one Shadow Reaper Anduin game. I played two Frostwist Jaina games, but I'm pretty sure one of them was against you. um, so I mean, I haven't really had a lot of experience with these cards. So I mean, I really don't even know how they interact. It's totally like foreign to me because, as you know, that I've been doing this quest to get all the gold heroes. And right before the changeover, I got my eighth, which was the shaman, and now I'm on to hunter, which is hilarious in my opinion because back in the day, before beta, before everything else, I was a starch hunter. Now this was before the nerf of um what's the one that summons all the dogs? And
Unleash the Hounds.
yeah, Unleash the Hounds. It was before the nerf of the Starving Buzzard, and I believe the Starving Buzzard's been nerfed twice actually. And I played nothing but Beast Hunter pre beta, and I had probably 300 wins on the ladder from the Hunter, but they were all pre-beta because once they nerfed those two cards, I stopped playing Hunter entirely. And so now I roll with Ungoro. I open the Hunter quest, and then I roll with Knights of the Frozen Throne, and I open the Death Knight for Hunter. And at the same time, I'm finally trying to complete my 500 quest of the Hunter, and I'm at 520 right now, or I'm sorry, 320, and I probably did 300 of them 4 years ago pre-beta.
All right.
So I'm so
Yeah.
green on Hunter. I'm so bad at it. So I really wanted to highlight a lot of that with today's podcast to push what I've been doing for the last, I don't know, what, 2 weeks, 3 weeks maybe. But really finally with the expansion to be able to talk about it. But I mean, all I've had with these three cards is playing against them. And Frostlinch Jaina, if you got an aggro deck, it feels like if you can beat her to the punch, you're good. Which Shadow Reaper Anduin feels like to me that he needs a lot of support cards to follow them, which I don't think I really had. I mean, I had such a hard time getting my Golden Priest. What was it, a 33% win rate?
Oh
I
yeah,
mean,
it was awful.
it was awful.
Yeah,
So, but Eternal Servitude out of these three cards, I think Eternal Servitude, in my opinion, would be the best out of the three of these. Um, so I'm gonna move on to my three favorite cards, which are going to be the Lich King, Defile, and Corpse Taker. And as Dieter said earlier, these would have been his had he not realized that they're pretty standard. And I know I'm pretty standard in this. Defile, I actually haven't even played Defile. I played against Defile, and playing against Defile, I realized how great of a card it is. I've never actually used it because I'm not playing Warlock right now. It's not a class that I'm trying to push. So playing against it, I realize how great of a card it is, and it's got to be my top tier cards right now. The Lich King is fantastic for so many reasons. I mean, it's taunt, it's soft taunt, it's giving you the extra card. Even if they don't have a way to get rid of it, they're still struggling to get rid of it. I'm still struggling to get rid of it. I'm running Big Game Hunter now in most of my decks because just in case they drop a Lich King, I want to be able to
oh
deal
yeah.
with it. Yeah. And then my
Every
last
shitty
one,
deck you see is running Lich King. You know.
yeah, absolutely, yeah. I mean, pretty much everyone right now. So I mean, and then I'm running Corpse Taker in my Paladin deck, which I mean, Corpse Taker is just so OP right now. If you can run its support cards, I mean, it's just incredible.
It's a natural fit in Paladin. You're already going to run Wicker Flame, Burn Bristle, and Tyrion. Um, so you get two of the three things, right, or two of the four things right there. And then if you drop it before you drop Wicker Flame, then you get the lifesteal. Um, so yeah, it's just crazy value for a 4 mana card.
Yeah, it's insane
Sweet
value
battle
for it.
cry too. It says Winter is here. Pretty sweet sound effect.
Yeah.
I know you don't play the sound on, but it's a pretty cool sound effect
You
too.
know what? I've been trying to play Sound On a lot recently in my plays. The problem is I tend to play on my laptop. My wife's watching TV. I'm sitting there playing the game or whatever. So I want to keep it quiet so she doesn't hear it. But I mean, a
Yeah,
lot with this expansion, I've been so excited about just the Frozen Throne, and watching the Lich King and everything else that's happened. I've just been so excited about it. So I've even had the sound on the train, and I've had people look at me on the train like, like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm playing a game, damn it. So it's been an intense expansion for me because it's really taken being back to, I'm 17 years old again. I'm working at Marion Cricket Club as a busboy. I just bought my first car. That's where the Frozen Throne brings me. And it's just I'm right back there. And now I'm a Nintendo man, so other than Blizzard games, all I play is Nintendo. So it's like this is the only thing outside of Nintendo that I play. So it's just been really exciting expansion for me. All right, so I'm gonna
it's
put this
great.
down, and we're gonna do a section that we wanted to do with Brian here, which was called "Spend My Dust." So uh, I'm a free to play player, so I have no dust to spend. I got no gold to spend. I got nothing to spend because I'm a free to play player for years now. But Brian over here has plenty of dust to spend. So we're trying to figure out where he should spend it next. So these are the three Death Knights that he doesn't have. We got Scourge Lord Garrosh, we've got Blood Reaver Gul'dan, and we have Deathstalker Rexar. And the question of the day is which one of these do we want to play? Which one do we want to craft for what's it,
Actually,
1600?
I have the Warlock one. It's the Shaman one that I don't have.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Well, hey, we'll
that's
take
okay.
gold down
The
down.
Shaman's kind of my least favorite of the three anyway. So if I had to pick one to cut out, it'd be the Shaman.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry about
Even
that.
though it's probably going to be the most competitive of the three, but I'm just not a big fan of that that archetype, I guess, the evolve archetype.
Right, right. And I mean, the evolve archetype is what got me to not only to rank 8 last season as a free to play player, but it also got me my golden shaman. So I can't say anything bad about it. I mean, I
Well, yeah,
really enjoyed.
it's a great deck. It's competitive, but I just don't really care for that token play style too much.
It's kind of funny because you're the one who introduced me to the um, the secret paladin. And so
Right.
my first run at Secret Paladin was you actually coaching me on Secret Paladin. So it's like every time we get a cancer deck along the lines of Evolve Shaman, I'm just like, remember that time? Like I probably never said it to you, but I think in my head a lot. I'm like, remember that time you coached me on Secret Paladin?
I'm like, dude, you gotta track these mysterious challenges. Get that out there.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah,
good
that was
deck
fun.
though. I mean,
I'm
I
not sure
liked it a lot.
why that feels different to me now. Um, whether I just feel worse playing those like OP decks now, and I wanted to be a little more counter meta, or I just went, I don't know. But maybe that paladin deck was just so much more fun to play because it was fun getting that Christmas tree of secrets and that perfect curve, mysterious challenger and a boom and a rag. Just wow, what a deck.
You know what? It was fun. It was fun while it lasted, and the only thing that really made it lose, honestly, was the Patron Warrior. I mean, the Patron Warrior really just ate it up, and when the Patron Warrior went away, that's when I stopped liking the Secret Paladin because it was like the Patron Warrior was the big thing that stopped it, you know. And I know
Yeah.
I've talked at length with you, and I'm not going to go into it now about my love of the Patron Warrior, but it was the deck that really stopped it from being the most insanely dominant deck out there, um, which was nice, and I always like an organic solution to anything, like the we were talking about this card in our feed the other day, and I'm gonna have to pull up its name, and I can't think of it, and I hate myself for not thinking of it. So you guys are gonna have to hear me type here for a second. So, um, an organic answer. Do, 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 do. These are the noises I make when I fix computers, because that's what I do for a living. Uh,
Is it the
hmm.
one that came out in the new set? I think
Yeah, it did come out in the new set. Give me one second.
Skulking Geist, 6 mana card.
Yeah, I think you're right. Oh, come on. How did I not plan for this one?
The
Of
one that
all
removes all
cards
the
I'm not
one
planning
mana
for.
spells, right?
There
Is
we
that the
go.
one I'm
Here we
thinking
go.
of?
Here we go. Yes, it's Skulking Geist, Battlecry, destroy all one cost spells in both hands and decks. Sorry, said that backwards. Um, so I mean that's an organic solution to the problem with Jade Druid, but at the same time it encompasses so many other solutions in itself. Secret priest, and honestly, I'm running tracking in my hunter deck, and it is a solution to tracking. Um, but rather than nerfing a card, rather than taking a card away from us as players, they're introducing a solution to the problem, and that's always, in my opinion, a better way to solve it. So
Yeah, I
anyway,
agree. That nerf to Patron Warrior it was more than a nerf. They like nuked it and then nuked it again. So those cards aren't even playable anymore, really. I
right,
mean, what's the point of having more Song Commander anymore? There's no point to that card.
exactly,
And it's a basic card, so you're gonna have it forever. It's never going away. So
exactly. So
anyway,
our uh, our spend my dust portion. Here we've got Scourgelord Garrosh and Deathstalker Rexar. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna go out on a limb and I'm gonna make the I'm gonna make the bid for Deathstalker Rexar before anything else happens here. And now I've played against the Garrosh Death Knight, but I have played the actual Deathstalker Rexar card. And as you know, my feelings before the release was that Hunter was completely unplayable. I was at like a 10% win rate. I'm a good player. I'm not a bad player. I'm not a legend player, but I'm not, I before TGT I averaged about level 8, you know, and
Hmm.
I could not get past level 14 with a hunter. Period. I had to use my shaman to get me past level 15 so I could get over the floor, and then I went relaxed on my hunter because it was so bad pre expansion that there was no playable decks. And I know that there are friends of mine that would disagree with me, and I know that the internet disagrees with me, but I could not find a playable deck. And I have a very good friend that's a good player. Um, and every time I play Hunter against him, he's like, "Dude, it's just not viable. Like I'm gonna beat you every time." And he does. He does absolutely beat me every time. But I have now 4 days in, 3 days in, found a deck that is it was on Hearthstone, the standard
Right.
Hearthstone
Yep.
thing, and it was called Rexar's Buffet, and it's a solid deck that curves out exactly the way you expect a hunter deck to curve out, and unless someone gets a perfect hand against you, you're looking at actually actually dealing with what's going on. So I'm going to go ahead and make my claim for Deathstalker XR because the hero ability is so much fun. It's
Oh yeah,
so much
it's
fun.
definitely very unique and yeah.
And this deck in itself is actually playable. Whereas Garrosh, yeah, he has a playable deck, and yes, Control Warrior will always be a thing. But I think you want to go Hunter. So that's my
Does that
two
deck list
cents.
of yours does that run the Abominable Bowman?
I don't think so. I'm pulling it up
Okay,
right now.
because I do not have that card.
So
Don't
my
really feel
top
like
my top
investing.
level, I got a Savannah High Main, and obviously the Deathstalker Rexar. And other than that, I got a Doppelgangster and Infected Wolf.
Did you play this against me?
I think we did we
Seems
did
familiar.
uh did play off it recently because I've been playing it
Yeah.
for the last two or 3 days, and it's really just been dominating in a way that I didn't think Hunter could right now. And I'm still probably about a 55% win rate, but at level 15, 55% win rate ain't that bad. So that's going to be my
I mean, that's
push.
about average for the meta. Yeah. The one thing with the Scourge Lord, I mean, I have the the Warrior Legendary from the last set, that Dinosaur, which is cool. I think that'd be a cool combo to use the hero power to damage everything and then drop your Dinosaur, which would be pretty awesome. Um, but you're right, the Hunter Death Knight with that fun hero power, and then it's a pretty awesome battle cry. You know, you get a consecrate, which is normally 4 mana. You
Right.
get 5 armor, which is normally, you know, depending on what card you eat, like a 1 mana spell. And then
Assuming you
gives you.
remember that it consecrates, because I totally forgot about that last time we played.
So yeah, I don't know. I might just sit on my desk for a while too and see what comes up. But um,
So what was
yeah,
your third? It wasn't
it
it
was the
wasn't
shaman,
Golden.
the
It was the
shaman Death
Shaman.
Knight.
The Shaman. All right, let me
Yeah,
pull that up. I don't know if I can pull it up on. Uh, I don't think I can pull it up on the stream now that we've started, but
yeah. So it's the 5 mana battle cry evolve. Only minutes the ones that cost 2 more,
right.
gain 5 armor. Spirit, where you evolve the target minion.
And I
And we,
mean,
we talked a little bit about
absolutely,
that.
Evolve Shaman is great.
Right.
But I mean, what are you playing for?
Right.
You know,
I'm not looking for that play style. I'm looking for a cool, fun, interesting play style. If I want to be competitive, I can play other competitive decks. I don't have to play the Shaman Evolve.
oh,
But I
absolutely.
really don't have the time to put into to even reaching Dad Legend. Have you heard that Dad Legend rank 5?
I'm going to use that though. That's great.
Yeah, yeah, I heard that somewhere, but it makes total sense. Like, as young adults that are also parents don't have
Yeah.
time to do that. So yeah, Dad Legend 5, rank 5. That's my goal.
I mean, I get
Closest I ever
that.
got was rank 7 with Secret Paladin,
I get
and
that
ever
totally,
since
but
then,
how many games do you actually have to win to make legend on typical typical numbers? Do you remember?
I don't know, like 200 or 300 games at least, probably.
Well, last season I won 225. I mean, I'm just bad at Hearthstone. I mean, like, there's Dad Legend, and that's great, and that's a wonderful thing. I'm totally gonna use it from now on. But I think I'm just bad at the game. As much as I've played it, I mean, and I've started playing Magic the Gathering at 11. Okay, so that was
Yep, that was me too.
20,
Yep.
21 years ago. I started playing Magic the Gathering, and I played Pokemon, I played Yu-Gi-Oh, and I remember sitting in my college dorm, and my buddy Kay, he was like, "Oh well, I don't play all those other card games. I play Yu-Gi-Oh." And I was like, "All right, you play Yu-Gi-Oh. Fine. I will learn Yu-Gi-Oh to play with you, just 'cause." And we played 6 games. And the first game he won, and the next 5 I destroyed him. And he was just like, "I don't understand." I was like, "A card game is a card game." And then suddenly I
Right.
play Hearthstone and I suck, and I don't get it. Like, I was really good at Magic, I was really good at Pokemon, I was really good at Yu-Gi-Oh, and I don't know. I mean, Hearthstone, I've never hit Legend. I don't get it. So,
Yeah. Well, part of it might be just the list you're playing. You've been always focusing on your classes, and
yeah.
I feel like if we were to sit down, like take a weekend, get rid of the kids and the family, and just play nonstop the top tier deck, Pirate Warrior, fast games, you'd get there eventually. You'd have to, because
Well, I mean,
that deck.
that's absolutely my goal after I get my Golden Hunter, as I'm not playing anything other than top tier decks. And I play easily 10 hands a day. I mean, easily 10 hands a day, every day, without missing, because I do 3 on the train into work, I do 2 at lunch, and I do 3 on the train home to work, and I play a couple when I get home. So, I mean, it's not hard for me to hit 10, so I do easily 10 hands a day. So, as soon as I get my Golden Hunter, I'm going Legend. I mean, I think I'm going to give myself 1 season to go Legend, and I think I could get it, but we'll find out. We will definitely find out because we'll be tracking it
Oh yeah.
on the podcast. So, all right. So I want to bring up the deck that I've been playing. And did you send me the? We had talked briefly about
Yeah,
the
they
the
should
deck
be in your inbox. Yeah.
in my inbox. All right. Let me pull that up real quick. But I'm going to talk a little bit about the Buffet Hunter. The Buffet Hunter, which has been great for me in the past. I mean, I really was Hunter was killing me, and I was doing this, I was doing that, I was doing the other thing. Oh, you got to give me 2 screenshots. Hold on a second. I don't know if I can do this. All right, I gotta stitch them together real quick.
Well, I'll talk about your list while I'm doing that. I'm just looking at it, and
Yeah,
it's definitely a
thank you.
mid-range hunter list. Um, I like the curve. It's got some of those handbuff mechanics that really kind of fizzled in Mean Streets. The curve tops out with only one high main, which I find kind of odd.
You know what?
I
The
mean, that's
the
probably
thing
a
is
card you
you
probably want to run too. But like, what do you cut for it?
you cut the one high main for the uh selection. Sorry.
Yeah,
You cut
soccer, I
the
guess. Yeah.
you cut the one high main so that you can run Rexar himself. And
Right.
honestly, high main's not what's winning you the game. um, because really you're playing the game in the top five turns, and if you don't have a solid hold on it within the top 5 turns, then I don't think you're gonna get it. I don't know if I can do this fast enough that we're gonna.
It's a list of 30 distinct cards.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Open. How do we do here?
Um, yeah, I mean, I would definitely give it a shot. The other list that I saw that I was considering with building was more of a mid to late game hunter that ran Professor Futureside for the secret generator, and then it had those two abominable bowman. But I don't have. I only have 1,700 dust. I don't have 2,400 dust to make those two cards as well. I mean, I could go through and disenchant some stuff and make that, but I'm not sure sold on how good that card is. Is that 7 mana death rattle summon a beast that died this game? I'm just not sure how good that card is. I don't know if I want to invest
All
that
right.
much dust into a list.
All right. Sorry, I haven't been paying too much attention because I finally just got this saved down. Saving as a JPEG. All right. Yeah. Okay. All right. So playing this deck, what I can tell you is that you really don't play anything pre turn 4. So you're sitting there pretty turn 1, turn 2. You got the alley cat, you got the fire bat. But if you don't get those, you're hoping for tracking. Which tracking is discover but bad, right? So I mean, it
Right.
it was it was kind of good back in the day, and I know Trump liked it a lot, but tracking was always discover but bad, right? So you're hoping for alley cat first turn. You're hoping for um, crackling raise 'em all second turn. But really, what you're pushing for is anything after turn 4. All the turn 3 stuff is just to try to keep you afloat to get to turn 4. And that's pretty much the way you play this deck. And actually, based on this deck, I've come up with another deck, which is it's a Hunter Dragon deck, which I've only recently started trying, which is why I didn't want to feature it here, because I've only done it within the last day or so. So, I mean,
Hunter Dragon.
yeah, it was actually fun, and we should try it out sometime soon. But it was really fun. But this deck in itself, it's a solid 55% win rate. I mean, everything about this deck is pretty good, other than the fact that it's a hunter deck, and hunter's just pretty weak right now. So, I mean, that's all I got right now. I'm gonna go ahead and add your deck on here, because I did manage to grab it, and we're gonna call it image two, and we're gonna I think this is the one. Yeah, that's the one. All right, we're gonna put it center stage, and we're missing. Looks like we stop at Raza. I don't. I'm sorry, dude. So here's half your deck. I don't know
So
what happened.
this is the kitchen sink priest list. I played it the first day of the expansion. Haven't played it since. But it's a quest, Death Knight, Dragon, priest list. So it's saying everything but the kitchen sink. Well, this is the kitchen sink because there's so much stuff in there. Um, it was mildly successful. I think I played maybe 8 or 9 games with it right when the expansion dropped that afternoon, and I won 5 or 6 games. Lost to a pirate warrior, lost to a regular Raza priest that didn't run quest or dragons, and I think I lost to one other list. I can't remember which one, but I mean, it won some games. I got the quest reward twice, which was pretty cool. Um, the top end is pretty standard with any other Raza list. I mean, it has Dragon Fire Potion, Lich King, the usual top end of any of these guys. Um, so yeah, basically, with the Stonehill Defender, you're looking to dig for a Lich King or the new Obsidian Statue to get another Death Rattle. You can drop N'Zoth to get some extra Death Rattle summons. There's the first half again.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't know what I got. Sorry, dude. I was trying to bring on
but
the second half, but I don't think I
it's
have it for some
definitely
reason.
definitely a lot of dust in this desk. There's a lot of legend cards. Lots of fun to play, but probably worse than just the standard Raza Kazakus Death Knight without the dragons or the quest. Because you give up that spot for the quest, and then you have to play some death rattles. The dragon part isn't that bad. Dracnid OP is just OP, and that's why they call him that. Um, the Bone Drake, that new 6 mana dragon that death rattle puts a random dragon in your hand, is very nice. Kind of just recycles itself. Cobalt Scalebane, also that new dragon, the 5 mana one that gives a random minion +3 attack. That's pretty cool. Um, so maybe there's something there with Dragon, Kazakis, Death Knight Priest, not necessarily Quest. But yes, this is just a fun deck, and it was interesting. That's why we put it on here, just something different. I mean, Kitchen Sink Priest.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Priest has been so weak for so long. It'd be nice to see it strong again. It hasn't been strong since Goblins versus Gnomes, really.
Well, and even in that, it still wasn't the strongest list. Lightbomb though is just such a great card, and that's really what made a lot of those Priest lists.
Well, honestly, if I was gonna fix Priest, and I have a whole type up blog that I was gonna post, but I never posted it. But if I was gonna fix Priest, the first thing I would do was make Light Bomb core card, because I know
Definitely.
that when they announced the core cards happening, they did say that there was the possibility of other cards getting absorbed into the core, you know. And that's absolutely one of the cards that I would absorb into the core for Priest, because Light Bomb was such a strong card that I don't know how it functions without it. So,
Well, we have Dragonfire Potion now, which is similar, not as good because it does 5 damage AOE and to your own guys.
hmm
Light Bomb could go past that. It could kill the Lich King. Could kill pretty much anything. And the nice thing about priest minions is that their attack is usually lower than their health,
right,
so you'd usually survive. Your board would usually survive, and theirs wouldn't, um, which is just a great AOE. Miss it all the time. Play
right.
wild every once in a while just so I can use it.
No, absolutely, completely agree with you. I mean, I would actually love to see Priest come strong again, playing as a man pre-beta. There when Freeze Mage and uh, uh, Miracle Rogue were impossible to beat, and they've nerfed them, all of them. They've nerfed them down to that being impossible to beat. I wouldn't mind to watch Priest become strong again, make Priest great again. Uh,
Well, so far I think the Kazakus priest is quite strong. To me, it feels tier one. Not my kitchen priest, kitchen sink priest, but just the Kibler Kazamicus priest is what he calls it, or a machine gun priest. It can go toe to toe with pretty much any list out there right now. We'll see when those big meta defining sites release their rankings, um, what they rank it at. Probably tier two, which is a lot better than Priest has been in a long time. I mean, Dragon Priest was pretty good, just didn't really ever have that, I don't know, the oomph it needed to be tier one. Um, but yeah, it's definitely fun to play right now. That's good.
and I mean, that's the important thing is fun to play. And that was the
Right.
problem I was having with Hunter because Hunter was just not fun to play until I found the buffet Hunter. It was just not fun to play, and it's the easiest way to say it. And Evolve Hunter, it feels a little dirty. And Pirate Warrior also feels dirty, but at least it's fun.
Right.
Whereas it
I
was
don't know. I
just
don't have
like,
fun playing Pirate Warrior. Um, I just don't care for that playstyle.
yeah,
Always living on the edge, like you need this to win or you lose. I don't like that. I like to be able to consider options. Look at the board and think of what can I do. put me in a good position, try and predict more. I mean, you do that with Pirate Warrior too. I mean, aggro, there's a lot of thinking that goes into it, but I just don't like living like that.
Nah, I understand. But I guess we should sign off. That's pretty much everything we wanted to cover. Next week, I really hope to go over a lore section. I wanted to do it this week, and honestly, I picked Archbishop Benedictus, and I was like, oh, it'll be fine. But apparently, he has a very long history of lore. So I was reading for hours, and I'm not kidding. I was reading for hours of Archbishop Benedictus. So I will be going over Archbishop Benedictus with Warcraft 3 lore, with World of Warcraft lore, and a little bit of the novel lore, because apparently he's in the novels too. So I mean, he's a huge character that we don't even really see the story of, and he's got a lot of story behind him. He's kind of a good guy. He's kind of a bad guy. Be awesome. So I'm gonna do that next week, and go over the lore of Archbishop Benedictus, and I hope to incorporate it every week.
Sounds good.
All right, man. Well, it was good. It was good talking to you, and have a good night.
Yeah, you too.